Next on my list of things that I have powered through.
Where the hell do you have all the time for this? Okay, but go on.
It is shocking. I think it's a backlog
You
because
do work full time as well.
That's true. I mean, I don't know. I just squeeze it in. It's a priority. I need to know everything that is being made.
You love TV. Yeah.
She loves Prime Video, I think is where we're going.
I do love Prime Video because this was my joke. I powered through The Power.
The Power.
Actually, John and I watched it, and it took us a while.
Well, we were going one by one. I mean, I think one night we did do 2 episodes. But, I mean, this show was actually fairly incredible.
I would say just not even fairly incredible. Here's the thing. The Power is based on a book, and I did listen to the book on my walks and hikes and whatever, because I'm a big audiobook fan, and it was fantastic. So when they said that they were making this TV show, I was all in, obviously, from the jump. And I will say it's good that they drop 1 episode at a time, John, because it slowed us down, because on Prime Video, that's their model. It's the slow roll.
Similar to sometimes what Hulu does.
And Apple, which I'm getting to the point where I do really appreciate that, because the next thing I'll talk about is a Netflix, and I just did it all in one day. And it kind of,
oh my Lord,
you're like,
I wish I could do that. I don't know. It doesn't happen in my household.
Sometimes
I don't get left alone enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is a factor. Like, you're undisturbed. Okay, Power.
So The Power.
The Power.
The Power. It is based on this idea that women have, out of the blue pretty much, developed this electric power in their bodies that they can shock people. And some have a much bigger version of it than others. So what ends up happening is completely unexpected. Because at first, when I started listening to the book and this series, you think, oh, this is amazing. Women have this thing that they can protect themselves. So it's going to change.
So you're talking about like an electric shock where you could touch somebody, and if you have a high level of the power, you could kill them?
Oh, yeah. You could. It's basically like having a taser in their body that they can just use. So
and maybe not even have to touch that person.
Yeah, they can
just give a glare.
No. Like it would shoot out of their hands, basically. So they can.
It would be very bad if it was just a glare. A lot of people around me would be dead.
Oh well, that's not great.
I'm just joking. So it's basically you've got to do like all I'm envisioning is like Star Wars, where like
kind of. I mean, kind of.
Like okay, all right, okay.
Yeah. They have this power, and some have a lot of it and can really cause some damage.
Well, does the lead, who you've not mentioned yet, is she one of the most powerful? Does she have the power?
Okay, so it stars Toni Collette,
who is always awesome with an edge.
It's a very interesting character that she's playing.
Does she ever play anybody banal, boring?
No.
No, Toni finds the edge. She finds the little, or she creates a tweak that makes the character interesting or have depth. So
I mean, this is just one example. This show would so frequently just not take the easy path. So even her character, okay, she's mayor, she's mom, then this thing starts to happen. So she chooses like an unexpected path a couple times. And you're like, ooh, that's the way we're going to go with this? This is...
Oh, I've got to watch it.
It's really good. The interesting thing that they've done is they're weaving together 5 or 6 different huge stories. And it is a little bit of a slow start because they're trying to set up this world and all of these different stories. It's a great payoff. I think there's 9 episodes and it just gets better and better as it goes along.
Ooh.
So I want to bring it back to Ted Lasso. Remember I said there's a crossover.
Right.
So this is Toheeb Jimoh, who is playing the character of Tunde, who's one of the big stories that we're following. He's a journalist, and as this power is coming up, it usually starts with like young women. So like teen girls are the first ones to get it, and at first they're kind of hiding it, and he is one of the journalists who breaks the story in a big, big way. And then it's interesting because the power dynamic, both physical power that now women have, and then the social change that the men are really fighting against. Like, if you think about this as like a thought experiment, that's not really where you would go. You're like, oh, what would be the ramifications of this? I went all sort of positive. Wow, this goes like real granular, like, oh, men hate this. And would they try and regulate it? And what's going to happen in different countries? And how are they going to try and oppress it and suppress it? And And oh my God, it is, I would say, genius. I think it's really an amazing concept, the book, and then the translation to the show is so good.
It's really incredible because, yes, you're all throughout the world, and it's just unexpected the way, like, okay, well, in this storyline, we're dealing with this kind of thing, and then it goes this way, and then this one where, you think, well, this would make sense. No, we're going to do something different.
Yeah, it's really astonishingly good.
Do you think a season 2, or did they find the root of this spark, this energy?
That's not really the focus of it. I mean, they do, of course, investigate, and it turns out that it's biological. It's literally an organ in women that has been sort of awakened and is now not going to go away.
Got it.
And what do you do socially in the world when that happens, when there's this huge paradigm shift of who can do what? And it's basically like all the women now have a superpower. And what is that going to mean? It's pretty amazing. Okay, so that's The Power on Prime Video. Highly recommend.
Yeah, you've got me. I'm going to, like I said, I might hide somewhere in my house and watch it.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
The men that you described in that are reminiscent of Handmaid's Tale. We're just going to go ahead and be in charge of everything. Sorry if you, I don't know, you have the power to make other humans. We're going to need to control that.
I'll always say, at its core, that sounds so exhausting. The idea that you are going to suppress any population, any race, anything along those lines. I watched The Handmaid's Tale and I was just like, aren't these dudes just exhausted by this? I mean, just like, and it's not working. It's not really working. So a great crossover would be The Power with Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, I mean, if the women in The Handmaid's Tale all of a sudden got the power.
The Handmaid's Tale is the prequel to The Power.
Yeah, exactly.
They finally kicked off, actually, you've pissed us off enough. We're going to go ahead and turn that gland back on that gives us electricity out of our
the shit out
nips.
of you. Okay. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. So The Power on Prime. Got it.
Amazing.